Welcome everyone. So today I'm going to share you the number one strategy to get you consistent high quality leads and plant your brand directly into the minds of your ideal clients. So whether you offer professional services or any type of online business, this strategy will help you stand out from everyone else and scale your business in a way that old marketing tactics simply can't match anymore. And here's the truth. To be honest, like relying on referrals, spending money on outdated marketing is not going to cut it anymore. Everything is moving on to Gen Z, especially as digital marketing continues to dominate. So I'm going to give you my exact funnel and explain the whole process so you can get high quality leads while developing a premium brand. So before we dive in, let me just establish some credibility so that way you know this actually works. I've generated over 1 billion views for my clients and generated millions of dollars for my clients using the same exact content strategy. I have over 180,000 followers on Instagram. I think I have 190,000 followers today, all using the same system that I'm about to share to you. And just to kind of show you some results that I've done for my clients as well. You know, we took Attorney Pete to be the #1 most followed social media attorney in New Jersey. We have Frank, who has over 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and he has so many leads, he turned off his ads, he couldn't handle them. I have Alon, who went from 10,000 followers on Facebook to like 72,000 followers on Facebook. He got a video with over 60 million views. And we have a bunch of results, like someone taking from like 0 to 50,000 and all that stuff. We have so much results just to know that, hey, we're able to do this. So why video content is important. This is the part most people underestimate. Your ideal clients are already on social media and their brain prefers video. Think about it for a second. Over 5 billion people use social media, and the average person spends more than 2 hours a day scrolling. Honestly, probably more. That means your clients are already consuming content every single day and just not yours. If you're not showing up where their already attention is, you're basically invisible. And you're always trying to stay top of mind because, you know, people could actively search something within their work hours. But if they're just scrolling through content, doom scrolling or whatever it is, they're going to see your content. And that's the most important part. When you get realized at a time they don't want to realize you, that's where you become memorable in a way. So video is the brain's favorite format. I love psychology. Human beings process visuals 60 times faster than text. And we're in a world where over 80% of online traffic is from video. And short form video isn't just another format. It's literally the #1 way to prefer to learn about your product, service, or a personal brand. And here's the psychology behind it. People don't buy logically, they buy emotionally. And Harvard research shows that up to 95% of buying decisions happen in the subconscious mind. That means tone in voice, facial expressions, personality, all the things only video can show, or what actually make people trust you. If you're just making carousels or just random images, that's what everyone else does. So if you have video content showing your personal brand, showing who you are itself, people want to work with you, especially as AI is advancing as well. You know, you're going to have people all look the same, but why are people going to work with someone instead of AI? Because you have that human connection with them. And the algorithm knows this as well. So like right now, the online attention span is around 8 seconds, which is shorter than a goldfish, to be honest. Platforms reward anything that could keep someone watching, sharing, or receiving and video is like the only format engineered to trigger dopamine. So if your videos aren't engineered for psychology, even if they're not built to hook attention or hook emotion, the algorithm just simply chooses another video besides yours. So here's the real cost of inaction. Every single day you don't build your brand with video, someone else in your niche is training your audience's brain to remember them instead of you. So let me go over the 5 steps of content creation. We have ideation, and that's coming up with viral content ideas that actually resonate with your audience. Then we have scripting, which is writing scripts that use psychological tactics to hook attention and keep people watching. Then we have recording, which is honestly pretty efficient. Like if you have a system, like my clients record 30 videos within 1 hour in the month and they never have to record content again. And you don't really need like a fancy camera. If you have an iPhone, something like this, it's all you need. And I'll go over efficient recording strategies later within this presentation. Step 4 is editing, and this is where the magic happens. Your editors must be trained to edit in a psychological way that triggers emotions visually and engraves your brand into the audience's brain. And step 5 is captions and posting. So using SEO tactics and the correct call to actions that direct viewers to take the next step. And I'll go over each step in detail one by one over the next hour. But first, we need to know the types of content, which are the 4 content types. And I'm going to explain why educational content is the most important. When it comes to growing a personal brand when you have a business, every video you create will usually fall into 4 categories. You have educational content, which teaches something or solves a problem. You have entertaining content, which hooks emotions and keeps people watching. You have inspirational content, which motivates people and makes them feel something. And you have social proof, which shows results and builds credibility. And all 4 are pretty important, but educational content is the one that grows your brand the fastest. And here's why. First, educational content builds trust and authority quicker than anything else. When someone learns something from you, even in a 20-second video, their brain immediately labels you as an expert. Second, educational content naturally gets the highest watch time, which is the #1 algorithm booster. So people stay to hear the solution, and listen to the solution, and the platform rewards that, especially when you're trying to target ideal clients. And the third, educational videos generate more saves and shares than any other content type, obviously besides memes and all that stuff. So people save what they want to remember, and they share what makes them look smart or help someone else. And that's a psychological principle. People share content that aligns with how they want to be perceived. And last, educational content attracts high intent buyers, because when you solve real problems within your content, the viewer automatically thinks, if this is what I get for free, imagine what I get if I pay for it. And this is how you know if you have a good piece of content. You ask yourself 3 questions. Is it valuable? Is it implementable? And is it unique? So is it valuable? Meaning, if I were to pay $5 to watch your video, would I be happy with my purchase? If I was decided to purchase, that means it wasn't valuable. Number 2, is it implementable? Can I implement the tips right after watching the video? So let's just use fitness as an example, just because people know about fitness. If I make a video talking to you about exactly how to get 6-pack abs by doing 3 workouts, and I take that video to the gym, that's what's gonna, that's implementable. And the third thing, is it unique? Your brand, your personal brand. How can you stand out from others? And of course, you could definitely mix types of content, but educational content should be your main focus. And then you have to think content as a funnel, which will lead me to the next thing. You break down your content within 3 things: top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. Top of funnel content is to get more broad viewers into your page who could possibly be interested in your content. So you capture a wide net of viewers. So you could do something that's a little bit entertaining, relatable within your industry, because that's how people are going to trust you. And then in the middle funnel, you nurture those broad viewers who come from the top of funnel content into more niche content. And this is where you can educate them more. Because if you say the desirable outcome in the top of funnel, which, like, for example, if you want to have 6-pack abs, in the middle funnel, you explain how you could get 6-pack abs. So that makes you more credible, it seems valuable, and you also explain your story more because you're nurturing the viewer about who you are. And then in the bottom funnel, you convert those viewers into actual clients, which you could do in multiple ways. The #1 way to sell is, stories. You could price injection strategies through stories. You could reach out to them in DMs and develop a connection. You could also run meta ads that retarget your viewers from your organic content. And then you just close all of them. If your organic content is really good, you don't even need ads. Right now, I didn't put an ad all year yet, and I've had an all-time high. That's how much organic content is super, super powerful. And then we're going to go to our first step, which is ideation. And I'm going to go show you a little bit about that as well. So this is how you generate unlimited content ideas. You could use 2 methods, and I'm trying to simplify as much as possible within this presentation. So method 1 is using what worked for others within your niche. So you could go on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and create a list of the top performing competitors. So any video that has 3 times their normal amount of views is good to analyze, and you could take inspiration from them. And here's what I like to do. This is when you're starting off. This is, like, I call this the secret weapon. You take 3 separate videos that went viral, you combine them into one, and then that's how you get a super viral video. And I actually did that one strategy. It got me over 12 million views, and that video got me 90,000 followers from that one video. Over hundreds of videos for the whole year within 1 hour. So there's no excuse on how you can run out of content ideas, to be honest. So that's method #1. Now, method #2 is keyword research. So let's say your niche is business tips. In that one niche, you could create a bunch of subtopics. So in business, there's like sales, there's marketing, offers, finance, investing, fulfillment, blah, 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 blah. right? And under each subtopic, you can mention keywords. So for example, for sales, you could be like objection handling, pitching, upselling, downselling. And you can even be more specific under those keywords. So you think of it as like a web diagram. And once you have those keywords, you could go to Instagram Reels, search your keyword, and save all the videos that you see yourself making. So now you have way more topics that you can make around. For TikTok, you could search a keyword, filter by like count on your phone, and you could go through all the viral videos. And that way, TikTok is a great way to see things that could go viral just because they have more of an intense algorithm. So if you take content that already performed well, add your own twist to it, then you should be good. And of course, I want you to remember the rubric that I mentioned earlier. Every idea needs to be relatable, implementable, worth someone's time, and unique to your brand. So this is how to automate ideation. This is other methods as well. So first, you could use Reddit or Quora, right? And you could go to these platforms, search up a niche keyword. Once you hit enter, you're gonna see a lot of people in your target market ranting about their problems. So each of these problems is a video idea that you could use. This is gold because this is where real problems are actually mentioned within the platform. Then you have answer the public. So once you put a keyword, you'll see the most popular questions people are asking based off of that keyword. And each one of these searches is a unique problem that you can make within your next video. So you can even do a Q&A type of video where you could put like a quick edit of the question, answer the question. It could be more of like an authentic Q&A type of format. Then you have like a TikTok search method, which I could show you as well. Basically, if you search something within your niche, you could find a section and keep clicking videos to get more and more ideas. So TikTok will always give you more ideas, and I'll show you this at the end of the slide. But I will talk about Instagram right now, where you could go to the Reels tab, write in your keyword, and save all the videos that you see yourself making. And then you could add your own unique twist on it. So you'll always have so many ideas. Like you'll never, if you do this method, you'll never run out of video ideas ever. So just to kind of show you how to do the TikTok method. So that's another tactic itself to get and generate a bunch of ideas. So let's get into scripting, and we're going to break it down into 5 steps. Phase number 1 is the hook, which is the most important part of your video. It's like the first 3-ish seconds, and you need to trigger an emotional response and hit what's coming next in the video. So your hook must be broad to reach a larger audience, unless it's an ad where you're targeting someone specifically. And here's a psychological trick to it. Use power words like secret, mistake, never ever, ultimate. And these trigger immediate responses from the viewers. And you always want to use the word you. That increases engagement by 66% because now you're talking directly to the person and not a group of an audience. And that's exactly what I did for that video that got me 12 million views. Your next part is hype up. And this is where you add support to your hook and increase the interest of the viewer. So think of it as like a wingman to the hook, right? So the hook is trying to get the viewer's attention, and the hype up is to make sure that the hook is even more irresistible. So it's more like a second hook in a way. So for this video right here, I had a hook, and then I said right after it, this trick makes Instagram work for you and promote you without spending a single cent. So it's like, oh shoot, what is that? Like, well, I want to know more. So it gives you that type of feeling. Then you go to your value, and this is where you deliver the implementable advice that will give them the positive outcome. When you're targeting their pain point and giving them the medicine to solve their problem. And this is crucial just because you don't just give information, you give a transformation. So you want to tweak it in a way where you could break down value in the most digestible way possible. And here's a little psychological thing that I like to do. People learn in 3s. People learn, ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, red, yellow, green when they're driving. People learn in 3s. So if you break down your video into 3 tips, you could do that, and now you have a better digestible format within your content. Now, here's the beauty behind this. Here's how I like to format my 3 tips. The first tip is going to be the absolute best tip. The third tip is going to be the second best tip. And the second tip is going to be the third best tip. Now here's why I say this. Let's say you're mining for gold in a cave, and in the first 3 seconds you find gold. You're going to assume that there's going to be more gold in that cave. So you're going to keep mining. After you find out one big piece of gold, you're going to keep mining. Now your second piece of gold may not be the biggest, but you already know there's going to be value. And the third thing is going to be the second piece of gold, because that's going to be closest to your call to action, and that's when people are going to see you as gold as well. So That's a little quick tip with value that you could be doing. Now you have reassurance. You could reassure them about the positive outcome that will come from your implementable value. You're eliminating doubt and building trust. So since they already trust you from the value that you give, they'll feel like they'll have a positive outcome if you assure it to them. So in this video, right before I said my call to action, I said, this is exactly how smart creators build engagement before they even drop content. Now we have our call to action. And the psychology of a call to action is pretty underrated. This is your chance to be dominant, and people fall into the trap of dominance very quickly. If you continuously tell them to comment, engage, share something, or direct them to do something, they will feel compelled to take action. And the best call to actions could be either to enter your funnel, ManyChat. You could increase brand exposure by asking them to follow you, or just get more views to share. There's so many things to do, and if you feel like you shouldn't be asking people, there's a reciprocity principle. When you give so much value at once, people feel obligated to give back, and that's the beauty behind it. So this script format is made to target a pain point of the audience, give them the medicine to their problem, assure them that they'll be good if they just take your advice, and they'll trust you and then follow you. Now, here are some hook types and examples. Hook type number 1 is desirable hooks. You promise a desirable outcome that your audience wants. So for example, here's how to grow your audience to 100,000 followers. Simple, clear, and tells them exactly what they'll get. Hook type number 2 is negative hooks. So these work incredibly well because more people are attracted to negativity. So for example, if I were to curse off your grandma compared to compliment your grandma, you're more likely going to remember me cursing off your grandma, which is true. So it's just natural human psychology, right? So instead of the here's how to grow, you could say you're never going to grow on Instagram if you keep doing this one thing, right? And that's something that's more triggering. And negative hooks just grab more attention because they trigger loss aversion, which people are more motivated to avoid losses than seek gains. Then hook type number 3 is borrowed interest hooks. You use more a credible source than yourself. So if you mention Harvard studies or Elon Musk, more people can relate to that authority, and you're going to trust them because you said their name. And you're just borrowing their credibility to establish your own. Now, the next thing is hook type number 4, controversial hooks. So you provide an extreme opinion that people can either agree or disagree with. So you could say like, money does buy happiness. I'd rather cry in a Lamborghini than a Honda. Something along those lines, right? And this creates engagement because people have strong feelings about it. You could they could comment their opinions, and they're going to watch to see if you could justify your own controversial stance. And then hook type number 5 is how-to hooks. You show the process on how to get an end result. So for example, this is how you could go viral in these 3 super easy steps. These work because you could provide a clear roadmap of how to go from A to Z. And this just is exactly like how I'm doing a how-to presentation right now. It's the same thing within a short form piece of content. And people love a step-by-step process because it feels achievable. Now, we have power words, which are super important. I'm not going to say all of them right now, but they're psychologically proven to trigger emotional responses in the brain. You could use any of these, which I use multiple times, and they do work really well. But it's super important because they activate the amygdala, which is the center of emotional processing. When you use these words, you're not just speaking, you're triggering a neurological response that makes people pay attention. So here's how it works. Like words like secret or hidden trigger curiosity. Words like warning and danger trigger loss aversion. Words like guaranteed and proven trigger trust and certainty. Words like insane and crazy trigger novelty-seeking behavior. So you don't want to overuse these power words, but you could pick 1 or 2 power words per video and place them strategically in your hook. If you use too many, you're going to lose the impact of them, and your content sounds like clickbait. So you don't want to do that as well. So for example, some of my examples is saying, here's some tips to grow on Instagram. Instead of saying that, you could say, here's the secret strategy that guaranteed my client 100,000 followers in 90 days. So you see the difference. Like the second version uses power words, and it's definitely more compelling. Now here are recording tricks, which is super important because I think people overstress recording so much. You don't need a fancy camera. You don't need anything. So let's talk about your camera setup. Your iPhone, it's all you need. You can change your settings to, 4K 30, you change your format to most compatible, and now you have a fancy camera. That's all you got to do. You could turn on the grid and make sure that your eyes are aligned on the upper horizontal line. And that's where TVs, movies, they all record without one spot as well. And your head should be centered. A little tactic that I like to do as well is, you guys could see me. So for example, this is your phone. You put an eye level and do a little quick downwards tilt. This makes you look like an authority while also being eye level at the same time. Then, of course, you make direct eye contact with the camera. You don't want to look at anything else. You want it to feel like it's a one-on-one conversation. And when viewers feel like you're talking directly to them, they're more likely to stay engaged. Then you have performance tips. So I like to wear dark colors because it makes the editing look better, or darker clothing. It's more of a natural feel to it. And that's what a lot of movie, TV shows do, and all that stuff. They wear dark colors as well. Makes your captions clear. You don't distract from your message and all that stuff. And here's a crucial one. Speak with your hands. Remember, 80% of people watch videos without volume. So when you use hand gestures, it helps viewers understand you even if the sound is off. Now, your hook needs the most energy. So this is where you grab attention. Even if it comes out flat, like you lost them, you want to have more energy to that. You don't need to be fake and gimmicky. You don't need to do that at all, but you want to be authoritative. And you should end each sentence with a low pitch. And this makes you sound more confident. You don't want to end sentences with like a question mark, and it sounds you're uncertain. All right, now we'll go to the recording process. And you don't have to memorize the entire script when you record. You definitely don't need to do that. That's gonna frustrate you. You're gonna stutter so much, whatever. What you could do if you don't have a teleprompter, because if you have a teleprompter, your life is so much easier, but you could separate your script by line. So for example, let's say this is the script right here. I look at it. This is the camera right here. I look at it, read the first line, say it to the camera. Cool. Second line, say it to the camera. Third line, say it to the camera. Now you finish the video within like 1 minute. And this is how you could record 30 videos in 1 hour. And if you have a teleprompter, you could probably record it within like 30 seconds. So that's something that you could do with recording. And of course, your energy level, you don't want to be completely boring, but you don't want to be fake either. So just have a nice energy level where you feel like you could be a little bit entertaining. All right, so editing. So a lot of people know me from my editing, and I break down editing pretty nicely. And I'm just going to kind of explain a little bit of how you should do your editing. And of course, you could watch videos and see and break it down as well. So this is where good content becomes great content. If you look at any person with a personal brand, they have some type of edits that represent their brand, and it engraves a brand into the audience's brain. And here's why editing matters so much. 80% of people watch videos without sound. So if your editing is not on point, you've lost 80% of your potential audience before they even start. And your editing in the hook is the most important part. When people scroll through the explore page, they see something plain that doesn't capture the interest, and congrats, your watch time is screwed. So your hook has to be very, very strong, because you can keep scrolling, people can see the first second, but if your first second is something like this, now you have something well formatted. So what I like to do is I could zoom in the beginning of the video, create a quick pattern interrupt. This breaks the scrolling pattern that everyone has. Then I summarize the hook into 3 to 7 words using a power word. So for example, this was to stop giving value. The visual can be anyone that is more popular than you, a transformation visual, a visual creating curiosity about what's going on in the video, or even a visual that makes you feel like, oh, nice, that's pretty cool. So for example, if you're a fitness coach and you're shredded and you show your abs real quick, people will be like, oh, wow, that's pretty nice. And now you become a credible source pretty immediately. So here's some quick general editing rules that you need to know. You want to have your subtitles in the upper neck and chest area. Most people put it on their stomach, but let me tell you why. If you have your subtitles in their stomach area, people are now going to decide whether to read the subtitles or look at your face. And that causes a problem for your brand, because people are not going to remember you. You want to make sure the subtitles are in the chest and neck area, like upper chest. Maybe align it in your shoulders if you want to do that. Second, never have the same thing on the screen for longer than 3 seconds. The average attention span on social media is around 4 to 7 seconds. So people, of course, have goldfish brains. Every 3 seconds, there should be some type of change, a cut, a zoom, a visual, or something that keeps them engaged. Third, you want to use fast cuts and transitions. Every time there's a new transition or a quick cut, it's like giving your audience, ADHD. Like, you want to make sure that you have something very clean. You want to make sure that they have a nice dopamine hit. But don't over edit your videos. That will give you ADHD, right? So people will, like, you'll have so much stuff on your screen, it's going to look ridiculous. If you have a great editing team as well, it could be make your life so much easier, because you could just, like, I send my script to my editors. They already know how to do the whole process because we already developed systems for it. And also, color psychology is pretty important. When I say like if I say stop, you're going to use red. If you mean like something that's desirable, you want to use green. So of course your brand colors is pretty important. Like mine's blue and all that stuff. But if you want to use red as in bad, green as in good, you could use that within your videos, and that has a huge importance to it as well. Now, the last step is captions and posting. Now, I don't know if you know anything about the July 10th update, but basically, as of July 10th, social media videos could now be used as SEO. If people search something up on Google, your video could become the response to that question. So that's why a lot of businesses are hopping on social media videos now. So your caption strategy is super important as well, because this is where you could mention a lot of keywords and SEO and all that stuff. Your first line of your caption is your second hook. So it should be something about the video with the same meaning but different words. So if someone doesn't click on the video immediately, people could read the caption first, and that second hook gives them another reason to watch. So for example, if your video hook is to never post on Instagram without these 3 settings, you could say these Instagram settings will 3x your reach, right? Then you have your second line, which could be like a little keyword rich paragraph. And this is where SEO comes in. To find the right keywords, you could do multiple things, which I also have a little gift for you later. But you could go on TikTok, write the topic of your video, and in the search bar, remember how I showed you those like 8 topics? You could take those and make your own paragraph out of it as well. And that tells the algorithm exactly what your video is about, which helps you get pushed to the right audience. And that way you're good to go within that little middle paragraph. Now for hashtags, this is where people, love and stress about hashtags. And I'll be first one to tell you, hashtags do not matter. You could put 0 hashtags and your video will still get the same results. I still put hashtags because it doesn't hurt. It's like I call it the cherry on top. You don't have to put 30 hashtags. You don't have to do anything. You just put like 3 to like 7 or 5, whatever you want, doesn't matter. And that's all you really need for that. This is the stuff that you need to do to make sure your content is good before you post it. Now, this is on Instagram at least. And by the way, the one video that you create gets posted on all 3 platforms. You could post on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, whatever. It does not matter. It doesn't hurt if you post on all platforms. And that's exactly what I do for all my clients, and none of them got hurt. So you always want to make sure that you can recommend on Facebook. That's turned on. We actually got 60 million views on one video because of that one feature. So more eyeballs equals more opportunity for you. Number 2, you go to your advanced settings and enable upload at highest quality. And this ensures your content looks professional and engaging, because poor video quality kills credibility. Now, the third thing is you want to make sure that your category is selected in your business profile settings. This helps Instagram understand your niche and show your content to the right people. And the fourth thing is to double check your caption, including your keywords in your second hook, just to make sure that's good. And number 5, you want to post at the best times based off of your audience analytics. So you could go to your insights, see when your followers are most active, and then you could post like 45 minutes before that time. Now, if you don't have the analytics for that, you could post at a general common time that you could feel would be nice to post at. So for example, if you post at 2:15 because you feel like people could take like a lunch break or something like that, you could do that as well. Now, I will say never post on the hour. Don't post at 3 p.m., post at 3:15 or 2:45, because people who are basic on social media post on the hour, and you don't want that, because then your content is going to get flushed out with the millions of people posting at the same time. Here is my gift to you. You get a caption ChatGPT prompt, which I'll give to you right now. I'll put this in the chat. You could take that prompt and I don't know if you have edit access, but feel free to just copy and paste. You could take that, add your transcript of your video, and it makes you a nice caption prompt for you. So that way you could just easily put it on the caption. Now, before we end, I usually have a lot of commonly asked questions. So how often should I post? What I like to say is that the more the better. There's no limit. I've grew an account 2 years ago, posting 8 times a month, and I took that account to over 100,000 followers. It does not matter. Ideally, the more that you're getting seen on the screen, the better, because now you're staying more top of mind. How long should your videos be? Ideally, 30 to 30 seconds to a minute. I try to keep it around 45 seconds, but depending on your video's format, it could be a little bit longer, but depending on your niche as well, don't overextend your videos, because a lot of people don't know how to get good results if their video's long. I will tell you that most of my viral videos are around 30 to 45 seconds, and I go straight to the point on giving a hook, value, and a call to action. Do you need expensive equipment? No, you don't. You need a tripod, you just need a phone, and that's all you need. Now, if you have a camera, great, that's awesome. But if you have a phone, you have a tripod, and if you have a mic, it's all you need. Even if you have something like this, there's a little quick shotgun mic. I used to record with this mic, just put it in there, and it sounds better than me using a computer mic. Now, what if your videos don't go viral at first? I will tell you this. I had a client who's at 200 followers for over a year. We couldn't help him grow. 2 months later, he's now over at 50,000 followers on TikTok, 10,000 followers on Instagram, or more than 10,000, 1,000 of followers on YouTube. Everything takes time as long as you're consistent with it. The algorithm will always push you if you're always rewarding and pushing, like being consistent. So think about it from a business perspective. When you want to have good content, Instagram or any platform wants to reward you for it, because now they make money off of you because they get to put ads after your videos. So you stay consistent, and you just kind of learn from your first batch of videos, your second batch of videos, and always tweak something until you find what works for you. Now, should you focus on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube? Every platform has its benefits. I always post on all Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube for video content. Of course, you can post on LinkedIn as well. But text is usually pretty nice on LinkedIn. What I like to always focus on is Instagram and YouTube. They usually say it takes around 7 hours of nurturement for someone to then want to buy from you. But if you're at a bar, you're not going to give someone your TikTok. You're going to give someone your Instagram, most likely, right? Or LinkedIn or whatever. But Instagram is really good, and YouTube is really, really good for nurturing. And TikTok, it doesn't hurt to just post it as well.